The Twin Valley Locker Room Show brings you inside Clay Center Tiger football. The Twin Valley Locker Room Show is powered by Pulse Internet. All your devices, one superior connection. And we're joined by two more seniors this week on the Locker Room Show. Jonathan Cramer-Rainbolt, Johnny C., Wyatt Alexander, the Animal, coming off of a, first off, congratulations, guys, on the NCKL championship, the final league championship in football, and you guys share it with Marysville. Talk about the week going in. Johnny C., about taking on the Chapman Irish, knowing what kind of was at stake in week one of district play. How jacked up were you guys?
We had a lot of preparation. I mean, they ran our offense, and so we basically had to show them that, you know, they're the off-brand of what the Tigers really do.
I love it. Wyatt, you guys knew what was at stake. What was it feeling like once the game was finished?
Just another day at work. Really trying to do our best just to get the win, not really thinking anything but the game, nothing above, nothing before, nothing really matters. Game one.
Yeah, very good point. And the league championship's fun, but the real season did just begin, and I know that's what you guys are talking about. The last two ball games, you guys have gotten after it offensively, and I'm going to talk defense because there was a big play early. Jonathan Cramer-Rainbolt comes up with a fumble recovery, and you guys punch it in and score. That's happened a few times this year. We couldn't tell if you had it or not from the booth. The officials seemed to not be sure whether they had it or not on the field. You knew from the start?
Yeah, we lined up correctly, and then we recognized that they were going to run a sneak, so we got into our tight splits, and he just fumbled the ball, and it was a fight for it because there was a couple hands in there and came out with it on top. So
there's nothing like being the bottom of that pile fighting for a football, especially when you come out of there with it, which you guys did. Wyatt, on the other side of things, this season you've been able to step up big time defensively in particular. And I'm going to go to the offensive side a little bit because they put you in tight in the formation, primarily because you've become a really good blocker. Now, I know you want to be out there catching footballs, but it's so important to our offense. Talk about being up there on the line.
It's pretty fun. I really like being a no lineman. Blocking, a lot of our block schemes are kind of, come out of nowhere, so I get to look pretty big going up against a 200-pound lineman leveling them. So, I mean, it's a lot different, but it's a lot more fun. I'm not the fastest guy in the world, so, I mean, it's good being on the block somebody slower than me.
And he's also caught some this year, don't get me wrong, but on the defensive side in particular, which have been big turnovers for the Tigers as well. Let's look ahead of this week, guys. Week 2 of district play, as you said, this second season just beginning. Talk about what Rock Creek brings at you. They're completely different than what you guys run.
Rock Creek, it's a hard-nosed football team. They run right down your throat. So we're really preparing for those foot-to-foot splits and them just trying to run right at us. So.
Have you guys talked about the fact that this team with just 2 wins, and you guys on a roll right now, 5-2, backed up a couple of big league wins, you can't take anything for granted right now?
Yeah, definitely. Anytime any team can come out and punch you right in the mouth, never know what will happen. Marysville, I mean, we should have played better against Marysville. We're about the same matchup, but, I mean, if we would have played the way we play, I think we would have came out on top of that game, but just got to be ready for the next game.
And 5 turnovers. We've put that behind us, though. That game, those turnovers, and we're moving forward. I know Coach asked you guys to bring in props about maybe some things you guys are interested in. I asked Wyatt, and he just simply looked at the cowboy hat. So talk about this.
Well, out of high school, I'm planning on going to Wyoming and getting a ranch hand job there. Trying to getting one lined up right now. Also going to be doing a lot of rodeo stuff this spring, and this winter I have rough stock school, so that's really exciting. And all my family was in rodeo and ranchers, so kind of carrying on family tradition.
What events in the rodeo? I mean, I have an idea, but tell our listeners.
I'm going to ride bulls.
Right on. The Animal. You could have been the bull rider, but I already had you as the Animal peg. Johnny C., what are some things you have real interest in or maybe plans for the future?
I didn't bring any props, but I am joining the Marine Corps after high school. So big preparation for that, doing PT and the delayed training program, and it's just, I mean, a lot of work needs to be put in, and football helps prepare you for that because it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a lot of obstacles you need to get over, so.
Great respect for you taking on that venture in the future. All right, a couple of quick questions. What is the latest or favorite app that you've downloaded?
I think the latest app I've downloaded was Spotify because people said the music on there was pretty good, so that's one I've been listening to a lot.
Were they right?
I would say yeah. Most of the time there's really good song choices on there, so yeah, I give it a good rating.
And do you have a favorite overall?
Right now it's Post Malone, Rockstar. It's kind of been one of my top songs, so yeah, that's what it is.
Very good. Wyatt, do you have a favorite app or one you downloaded recently?
Kind of try to stay away from apps and everything, but I have Snapchat, but I like Snapchat.
Very good. Perfect. Well, snap this. A win on Friday night puts you in great position for the postseason once again. Congrats on what you guys have done already. Let's go get them on Friday night. Jonathan Cramer-Rainbolt, Johnny C., along with the animal Wyatt Alexander on Tiger Talk here on the Twin Valley Locker Room Show. The Twin Valley Locker Room Show continues with Tiger football as we're joined now by the head coach of the Clay Center Tigers, Todd Rice. And, Coach, 2 wins in a row against league opponents where you put 40-plus points up. I know it's not all about offense, but it is about numbers, and those are great numbers.
Yeah, they are. We've been real pleased with, how our guys have come out and executed well early in the game. Abilene, we broke it on the first play of the game. And then last week, creating a deep turnover and being able to cash that in.
You mentioned turnovers. Your guys have done, I think, a tremendous job the last 2 weeks in particular of creating those turnovers. And I know it's something you guys talk about a lot.
It is, and, the games we've struggled in, we've been on the bottom end of that. So, we've really been trying to stress ball security and the ability to get the ball back.
I'm going to talk balance and offense, and we've talked about it quite a bit this year. On Friday night, some would say, well, there wasn't much balance. It was all ground game, and I know you and I would say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, you had things working once again.
Yeah, we did. And, we got in a position in the second quarter where we were able to work on our passing game and, did some situational stuff with it. But, running triple option, people can scream whatever, but, the quarterback's making a read on the field, and we're taking what the defense is giving us. So, on any given week, it could be the fullback, the quarterback, or the pitch game.
I know I talked with you before we came on the air, and you were talking about how this team doesn't care about the numbers, about the statistics. They care about the team and winning games. Well, does that fit into what you guys are trying to do?
I think so. I mean, I think that's part of the process, and just everybody doing their job. And we talked a little bit, sometimes people look at it and think of a skill as the ability to run the ball or score a touchdown or catch a ball. And our guys are really buying into. We have some very skilled athletes at a lot of positions that are playing at a high level and creating those things. And our guys have just done a good job of not worrying about who's got the quote-unquote stats, but, doing their job.
For this second week in a row, obviously with the big number on the board and a small number on the other side of the board, you've had a chance to get some guys in that don't get a chance to play on Friday nights all the time. They'll get more and more comfortable. It's great opportunities for you guys.
It is. We're so senior dominant in our starting lineup, and the last 2 games have presented us an opportunity to rotate some guys in. We had a lot of other guys in the first half defensively last week, and then we got into the third quarter. And was able, Cooper came in, played most of the second half, and then Blake Frederick. I think it was important to manage the score in a game like that. I don't think there's any point in trying to go out and embarrass anybody. We'd had a lot of good things happen for us. Thought it was important to finish the game on a good note and also get off the field healthy.
Let's talk about this week's matchup against Rock Creek. Chapman, it was well documented. They run the same offense that Clay Center does, so scouting that was not a real difficult thing. Although I will have you comment on your guys having to go up against their offense and realizing, wow, no wonder they're having success.
Yeah, that was interesting. We get going, and a couple of those guys are like, man, I hate having to go against this because you have to be so assignment sound. The blocking on the perimeter is different. And I thought Anthony and Wyatt just played tremendous game on the edge to allow us. It's very difficult to play a one high against Flexbone, and we were able to do it mostly because of how well those two played.
Yeah, great stuff. Now let's talk about Rock Creek, which is well known, tradition rich in what they run. It's a tight formation. They have a lot of little things going on to try to fool some people, but they just want to run it between the seams.
They do. I mean, they're big up front. They're going to try to create running lanes, a lot of double teams, get some movement. Got a couple really quick, fast, elusive running backs that, I think could hit anywhere. So we've really worked hard this week on our run fits, trying not to let, any seams open up and be accountable for them. And then defensively, they're really aggressive. They'll mix a 3-3 and a 3-4, and, they're going to stunt and be correct sometimes, and hopefully we catch them not being correct.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you've been catching a lot of people of late, and it's been fun. Okay, we asked this question of Wyatt and Johnny C. The latest app or favorite app that you have on your phone? I know you're such a tech-savvy guy, so do you have one?
There would not be an app on my phone. On my iPad, though, probably Huddle Assist allows us to film individual athletes and just share it just with them.
It is a really cool service, and I know that you guys have used it to the fullest extent, so it is a cool app. So you're tech-savvy guy, this comes down to it. Hey, good luck on Friday. Let's keep this thing going, okay?
All right, thanks a lot.
Coach Todd Rice with us on the Twin Valley Locker Room Show.